looking at what the Prime Minister said, do you think that he's diluted completely the seriousness of the women's reservation bill? Though he's trying to become a champion of women in the country, but at the same time, he ends up insulting the women. What is your take on that?
Nilu, BJP held a special session for this because they were very confident they'll be able to push through this. They thought by taking it the question of women bill, they'll be able to split the opposition on two lines. Some of the parties will be hesitant to vote against a delimitation because it will give a wrong message to women constituencies. And B, some of the North Indian parties, opposition parties, will be in the support of delimitation because the numbers in their states will go up. So these were the two calculations which were underlying conditions in the plan of BJP. Fortunately, no opposition party is split on this issue, either on the women reservation issue or on delimitation issue. All the parties, including Samajwadi Party, including Trinamool Party, including Aam Aadmi Party, including other parties, and of course Congress Party, they opposed the bill during the introduction. And the opposition figures were 185. Now, many, almost 100 MPs were today absent at that time. But even if all the MPs are present, 185 opposition means that bill falls. There's no two-third majority. So this message Prime Minister got today, and that is why he came in to give a different twist. He tried to placate. He was very, very jovial. He was in a different mood. He did not attack opposition parties. He did not attack. He sought support because they thought that now this is not going to pass. So let us now cajole. And second thing, they also came up with a proposal which is not in the
Actually,
bill.
do you think that Prime
I'll,
Minister's speech had a placatory
I'll
tone just because they realized that they didn't have the numbers?
Of course, not realize. It was proven in the morning during the introduction.
Right.
And then they gave a second concession that they have brought up a calculation, which Home Minister then read out in the House, that none of the states in the South will lose the proportionate share of the seats. Now, this is not in the bill. The bill specifically says that it will be based on the census of 2011. Something which is not in the bill has been committed by the government on the floor of the House, and I'm very sure they'll bring an amendment to the bill. So that explains what BJP is doing. The question is political one. Who linked the women reservation to census? It was Narendra Modi government. Who delayed the census of 2021? It is Narendra Modi government. Who now wants to link the bill to 2011 census? It's Narendra Modi government. Can reservation to women not be given without census? No, you do not require a census to implement the women reservation bill. But having passed the bill, which is already an act, they are unable to implement it because the BJP's government, Narendra Modi's government, is afraid of the might of the male MPs of its own party. They are not able to take on the male members. So then they have come up with this new formula. Let the male figure remain where it is. Let us add 50% new seats. Now that is also a wrong calculation. Today, the Home Minister said in the House that we have added 50% to ensure backward calculation for 33%. But that figure comes to 825 because the maximum number of seats in Lok Sabha is 550. You add 50% is 825. He said it is to round off. Rounding off is in decimals. Rounding off is not a quarter of a century. So he as he said, KG ke bachcho ki tarah. So they still think that opposition party MPs are KG kids. No, they are MPs. They know constitution. If you know law, they also know the law. Now tell me one thing. These 25 seats will be added to which state's quota? Is there anything? 25 is a huge number in parliament. There's no explanation. The problem is that the real intention, as Radhaji said, is not women reservation bill. The real intention is something else. The delimitation was deferred after 26 because the census was deferred and the act says, the constitution amendment done in 2002 says that till 2026 the seats are frozen. But in 24, despite all the propaganda, BJP could get only 240 seats. Now this figure is constantly rankling them. They're trying to find out new ways to win. And one of the way is gerrymandering. They have experimented in Kashmir, they have experimented in Assam, and they have done it. In Assam, some seats have a 26 lakh population, some seats have 14 lakh population. In Kashmir also, the variation is 100 to 150%. In Assam and Kashmir, both they have created constituencies which are not contiguous. One constituency has some areas in second constituency, some areas which are geographically not connected. So they have done it at will. They want to do the same thing for 2029 elections. They want to do gerrymandering on the basis of 2011 census so that somehow they are able to win the elections. And then they have kept another option open. The option says, the bills now says that the fresh census, the latest available census will be used for delimitation.
Right.
In 29, the latest available census will be of 26. So after 29, now BJP, if it wins on basis of gerrymandering, has the option right away to do another delimitation. And then they can do away with all the constitution provisions. Then they'll be able to do whatever they want, do away with the rights of southern states, which they wanted to do today also, but they have not been able to do because of lack of strength. So now they want to ensure that A, they win by gerrymandering, and B, once they come back, then they are able to play with the constitution and then do a second round of delimitation. This is the entire plan of BJP. And third thing, sorry, third thing, they understand that the demand of OBC quota within quota is a serious demand now because the census is happening. So they are now trying to prepone the delimitation so that this OBC census thing is not done now. And then the question will be taken up after 29 elections. By that time, if they win, then they can easily do away with the OBC demands. So this is the entire game plan which they are doing. Today, they were forced on back foot because they do not have numbers. The India parties have not split. Samajwadi Party has voted with India parties today. TMC has voted with India Party today. And all the parties in the north, be it JMM, be it Aam Aadmi Party, who are the ruling parties, they have all voted with the opposition today. And with these figures, this bill will fall flat. And that is why now they're making a change in their strategy.
One quick question, Gurdeep, and then I'll go to Mr. Selvam because we have to talk a lot on Tamil Nadu as well. Gurdeep, is it like a double whammy? First, the government brings in an SIR, I mean, through Election Commission. They do an SIR, they delete the names of the voters. Now they are trying to redraw the boundaries, the political boundaries of the constituencies. So is this just extension of the SIR fraud? And that is the delimitation.
You see, they are just trying to find new ways of sticking on to the power. So SIR is one of those ways where they are trying to change the electoral rules. The problem with them is this is a country which is too complicated even for them. And their own cadres are now crying in various states that their own votes are getting deleted. So that is that apart. They have seriously tried to customize the electoral rules on the basis of the information that they have, which facilitates their victory. They have tried gerrymandering in Assam and Kashmir, but despite that gerrymandering, despite giving the Hindu areas of Jammu an advantage of 6 seats, still they lost. So this is not a country which is very simple in its political outcomes. So
Absolutely.
now to make sure, doubly sure, other than SIR, they now want to do gerrymandering at the national level. That is the answer. The on second thing, this whole idea of 50% increase with retaining the proportion of seats in states, southern states, is also a problematic one because the proportion may remain same. In absolute number, the figures change, and the government falls or survives by one individual vote also. So, despite having the same percentage, the gap will increase. Today, Tamil Nadu has 39 and UPS for 80. So gap is of 41. You add 50% to both. So 120 minus 69. So you get the gap increases from 41 to 61. And those extra 20 numbers will be crucial in either saving or ousting the government. So
Right.
even by ensuring that the proportion remains same, the say of southern states is diluted by this figure. That is why these figures were frozen since 1971. There was a logic to it. That logic has been done away with.
Right.